Well, hello from the fabulous Monte Carlo in Monaco. I'm standing here in front of the Hôtel Hermitage, and I'm going to take you on a walking tour just of the neighborhood here, which will actually include a visit to the casino. But before we get going, I want you to see the cars that are parked here. You've got Ferrari, Bentley, McLaren, another Ferrari. Here's my favorite. That's the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Not one, but two. And of course, that's my dream car. That'll come next. But from here, we're going to keep walking and crossing over the beautiful little cafe terrace right across the way. Everybody very stylish. I see a lot of aprons, a lot of drinks. People having a good time on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. There are some cars here you won't see almost anywhere else in the world. Another McLaren. I wonder, I drive a Range Rover. I wonder if I had that here. I don't think I would get any looks, but you never know. So this area, they built up some condos and shops all on this side. This wasn't here the last time that I was in town, which was probably, it's been a while. It's been maybe 10 years. So they've really built this up. These apartments up here are super expensive. I think they run about $8,000 to $10,000 a square foot, which is really amazing. So you really have to have money to live here well. But this exterior right here, this is the Hôtel de Paris, which is a sister hotel to the Hermitage where we came from. And you'll find some great shops here, Prada, there's a Saint Laurent, there's a Louis Vuitton here somewhere across the way. And you don't need the shops at Belle Harbor. And actually, shopping in the French Riviera it's really second to none. It's quite extraordinary. So just across this little promenade, I'm coming to the area which is the most famous part of Monte Carlo. You'll see cars, crowds, beautiful people. And if you never have been here, you really have to come at some point in your life. And there we have it, the very beginnings of the very famous World Casino with people. You're going to see, once again, more cars here. People they come here just to people watch and to gawk at the cars and the people watching the cars, which is quite interesting. And it's like a wonder of the world, just the most incredible scenery. So this right here, this is the Hôtel de Paris. I'll get another shot there as well. There's a famous Alain Ducasse restaurant there. But as I cross over here between the Range Rover and the S-Class, you're going to see, once again, more beautiful stuff. Wow, look at these cars. This electric. It says electric. Well, it's not vintage. I think it's fake. Maybe it's some type of a car rally. Yeah, those are just things you can rent. But here's a Range Rover. I guess if I had mine, I'd fit right in. Although that's the SV. That's the real high-end Range Rover. About $280,000 to $300,000. And then you see here, this roadway, this is where all the cars sort of come, and they make the pedestrians stand right here, and at nighttime you'll see this is just wall-to-wall people trying to watch who's coming and going from the hotel across the street. And here you have a nice Bentley, that's the Bentley SUV, and right here in front of the casino, big crowds as usual with a beautiful Rolls-Royce waiting for somebody, and then you have a Porsche Carrera, and then a G63, and then an Aston Martin. It's really a car lover's dream. Although, I've lived in South Beach for many years. This is just another day in South Beach. But as I pan around, you've got this beautiful Café de Paris where you can sit, you people watch. And what the funny thing is, so the people from Monaco, they do come out here and they do hang out. They tend to kind of stay away from, a lot of the crowds, but almost everybody you see here, like me, is a tourist, just taking pictures, Once again, Lamborghini, Porsche, Fiat 500, which is like a little baby right here, but all the cars lined up in front. It's really just amazing. And there's that beautiful Lamborghini. I love that sort of dull kind of sheen paint job. Here's a Bentley. So, you know, to get to the casino, it is open to the public. But if you want to get in, you have to have a special pass. So I'm staying at the Hôtel Hermitage, so you get a pass to go into the casino, use any of their facilities, anywhere, which is quite fantastic. And it's, you know, I'm not going to go into the casino. I've been in there before. It's very nice, you know, it's such a far cry from what you'll actually find in Las Vegas, for example. It's very classic, very classy. And then up here, just kind of some views of the mountains above Monaco. And once again, just absolutely extraordinary. And what's really funny is, I'll see if I can get a snapshot. They have signs here that basically say, you know, don't film our people, don't film our crowds, otherwise there may be sanctions. And I totally understand that. So I'm just going to come in the lobby very quickly for the Hôtel de Paris. I'm going to be more quiet here because it's a very beautiful setting. Yeah. So this is the American bar. I tried to be somewhat discreet. My pass allows me to get into the hotel very easily, but if you just walk in as a tourist, they're usually going to look you up and down and kind of question you. They really don't want, well, you see that there's so many people around here walking around. They really don't want everybody walking in there. It is a private property, but it is kind of exceptional to see. And what I didn't show you when I was inside, one of the most famous bars in the world is called the American Bar. It's at the Hôtel de Paris. It's quite a nice scene, kind of hard to get into. Usually in France and in Monaco, if you want to go have drinks, you have to make a reservation, and I learned that the hard way the first time. So you go in there when it's nice and it's a scene and everyone's dressed all nice, and you kind of people watch, and you know, there you get all types here. You get some interesting characters as well, and so you just enjoy and sort of, and you can dream a lot as well. Another Cullinan right there. And this area above, I'm just going to come up the hill a little bit because there is a fantastic view of the casino. What's kind of funny is everybody here pretends like they're somebody. I mean, we all are somebody, but when it comes to celebrities, and you'll see, I'm going to take some photos of people shooting selfies. It's quite amazing. But here's the greatest shot of the casino itself from just above. And there's the hotel as well. And then people shooting the selfies. So with all this, you kind of wonder, you know, where do you belong when you stand here? You know, I'm dressed in t-shirts and shorts, and you know, I mean, everybody is. And actually, you know what I find? So I've come across some very, very wealthy Monacans, I guess, people that live in Monaco, and you'll see they dress chic when they go out, but you'll usually see a guy pop out of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini wearing like what I'm wearing, so you can't really tell. Sometimes the woman who he might be with might be dressed very chic, so that is sometimes a telltale sign. Sometimes there is an age difference, quite an age difference, and that's also just, you know, I mean, it's not unique to this area. You find it pretty much anywhere you go. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of fantasy for people. This is definitely a selfie capital, and I guess you can say I'm doing that myself, because I'm shooting myself walking around, talking to all of you, helping you have this experience. And really, for those of you that have never been to Monte Carlo before, we'd love to see you here. It's a great place to pop into. It does get very busy in the summer, And 7 days a week, it is busy. So I'm shooting this on a Sunday, and you'll see there's people everywhere. Louis Vuitton has a line now, and it's always funny because I think for every 50 people that go in, 1 or 2 come out with a bag, maybe. I'm usually one of those people, sometimes. But they do have nice stuff, and I've actually kind of swayed away from the big label and the big brands. They were fun, but I think I have my fair share of luxury goods, so I'm getting more sensible now, and I like quality stuff, but the less obvious a label is, I think, the better. Even like my luggage, I used to have Louis Vuitton rolling bags and backpacks, and so I'm just doing Tumi now, which in itself is expensive and it's a nice brand, but I have my Tumi not to show off, just to be sensible, because they do make great luggage. So as we're coming back now, we're coming back to the Hôtel Hermitage where we started, and we're gonna go through the garden, which is where you can have a nice drink. And all this is open to the public. You don't have to be a hotel guest to stay here, but it's a nice place for people watching. And at this time of year, the April spritzer is sort of the drink du jour. And we can make our way back across here, and look at this beautiful Spectre, I think it is. I think I know my rolls right. Maybe it's not a Spectre, maybe it is. And then we arrive back at the hotel, and it's the time people are checking in. And I'll give you just a quick peek of this hotel. So here's the main entryway, and a lot of people waiting for the rooms. When you check into a hotel in Europe, you very rarely get your room before 3 or 4 o'clock. So people will wait. There's a beautiful garden here, and I wonder if I can peek in here. This is the grand banquet ballroom. Let's give a little peek. So very grand, very ornate. Look at that. Well, if you're ever going to have a grand wedding or event, this would be the place to do it. Okay. And then you have a nice cafe. How's that for an impression? Anyway, so that was my brief walking tour of Monte Carlo in Monaco. Please come and spend time here. I wouldn't bother with a casino for gambling, but it's something to walk through and see. And we'll see you real soon.